Hello everyone and welcome back to Xbox Nation. My name is Fletcher and today we'll be covering the 12 brand new Xbox and Game Pass games coming out this week, and if any of these are worth your time and money. It is a lighter week for Game Pass currently, but we do have the bi-weekly Game Pass announcement this Tuesday, so do make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss out on my coverage and see what's coming soon. So with that out of the way, what is coming out for Xbox this week? Well, let's dive in and find out. Kicking things off with a deeply unsettling survival horror experience, Post-Trauma brings old-school horror vibes into the modern era. In this game, you play as Roman, a middle-aged train conductor who wakes up in a twisted, surreal dimension after suffering a brutal panic attack. Trust me though, this place doesn't want you to feel safe at all. Armed with different limited weapons and even fewer answers, you'll explore disturbing hallways, solve some obscure puzzles, and encounter grotesque otherworldly entities that seem ripped from your worst nightmares. The fixed camera angles paired with stunning Unreal Engine 5 visuals create such a suffocating sense of dread that just never lets up. This one is inspired by classics like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, so Post-Trauma will keep you on your toes with its shifting environments and psychological tricks. Just when you think you've got your bearings though, the game will really look to flip the script. If you're into horror that really claws at your mind, Post-Trauma is one you shouldn't miss this week. This next one, I will have to give you a heads up. Vagrus is not for the faint of heart. This is actually a very brutal, text-heavy turn-based RPG set in a dark fantasy world devastated by arcane cataclysm. You take the role of Vagrus, a caravan leader navigating the harsh, unforgiving continent of Zerin with your crew in tow. You can expect some pretty layered storytelling here, different moral dilemmas, and also tactical combat that punishes poor planning. As you travel though, you'll of course be trading your different goods, managing resources, recruiting different companions, and also facing tough decisions that shape your entire journey. The game though doesn't look to hold your hand. Permadeath, scarce supplies, and branching storylines make every playthrough very intense. With a very huge emphasis here on lore and world building, Vagrus immerses you in a dying world where every choice really has a ton of weight. If you crave rich narrative depth with challenging gameplay, then this is one that's worth the absolute grind. Now, get ready for a dose of 90s nostalgia. Croc, Legend of the Gobbos returns in a newly polished remaster, nearly 28 years after its original debut. This is classic 3D platforming, whimsical, colourful, and just the right amount of clunky in the best way possible. Of course, you will play as Croc, the adorable crocodile raised by fuzzy creatures called Gobbos. When the evil Baron Dante kidnaps them, it's up to Croc to hop, tailspin, and belly flop his way through dozens of vibrant levels. Of course though, this remaster brings HD visuals, modern controls, smoother camera behaviour, and even brand new achievements for you to chase. While this one actually stays true to its charming low poly roots, it feels way more accessible for today's players. If you grew up on the golden age of mascot platformers, or you just want to see what the hype was about, Croc is back and is ready to go by your heart. Sometimes a game doesn't need explosions or combat just to leave an impact. Caligo is a short atmospheric walking simulator that actually dives into personal darkness and existential introspection. It's a game about looking inward, about asking yourself the big uncomfortable questions. In this one though, you'll be exploring a mysterious dreamlike world filled with tons of surreal environments and also symbolic visuals. Along the way though, you will meet different characters with very deep ties to the protagonist's story, slowly piecing together their past and what brought them to this very strange place. Every setting though looks to have its own energy, from eerie forests to haunting voids, and everything is tied together here with fully voiced meaningful dialogue. There's no wrong way to interpret Caligo. It's an emotional journey, and what you take from it depends entirely on how you engage with its entire theme. For those of you who enjoy narrative-driven experience such as Firewatch, then this is a hidden gem that's well worth discovering this week. Now, for something completely different, South of Midnight is a dark, magical journey into the folklore-soaked American South. While the full release actually drops next week, players who grab the Premium Edition or the Premium Game Pass upgrade can start exploring early access on the 3rd of April. In this one, you play as Hazel, a weaver with the power to manipulate mystical forces and a world crawling with spirits, folklore legends, and towering monsters. It's a third-person action-adventure game with a very unique art style. It's like a living painting that's eerie, dreamlike, and strikingly beautiful. Combat though mixes real-time action with supernatural powers, and exploration leads you through the haunted bayous, dusty backroads, and eerie swamps. Of course, storytelling really will be at the forefront in this one, with Compulsion Games crafting a very rich and emotional tale. I'll be dropping a full review on launch day, so hit that subscribe button down below if you're curious to see this Southern Gothic tale in action, and also to hear my thoughts. Football fans, you can rejoice. Sociable Soccer 25 is sprinting onto Xbox for the very first time and is bringing back the spirit of classic arcade football with a very modern twist. This one's created by John Hare, legendary designer of Sensible Soccer. This one's fast, fluid, and packed with tons of personality. Of course though, the gameplay is all about quick reflexes and easy to learn but hard to master mechanics that make every match feel exciting. But it's not just about pick up and play simplicity, there's also a ton of depth here. The game will feature over 13,000 licensed players, so you can build a squad using real world pros from your favourite clubs. Of course, you'll also be able to collect and upgrade player cards, jump into online multiplayer, and also rise through the ranks and updated leagues across the globe. Whether you're managing tactics or just smashing in screamers from midfield, Sociable Soccer 25 keeps the energy incredibly high. I can't wait to dive into this one and check it out, and it is perfect for those of you who like EA Sports FC 25 or eFootball. It's a surprising pixelated change, but it will be fast, fun, and surprisingly deep. If you've got the stomach for it this week, Autopsy Simulator Dead Memories delivers a chilling story-driven forensic horror experience that's as emotional as it is gruesome. In this one though, you will play as a middle-aged pathologist whose life has unraveled after the death of his wife and a ruined career. One day though, during a routine autopsy, something from your past resurfaces and it won't let go. Each case in this game looks to feel personal, not just procedural, with very detailed, realistic autopsy mechanics designed in collaboration with real pathologists. You'll be uncovering different clues, studying evidence, and ultimately piece together haunting backstories for each body on your table. Yes, of course, the visuals here are extremely graphic, so definitely be prepared. Beyond the gore though, it's going to be a very deep psychological thriller where the truth you're uncovering may be your own. It's very immersive, unsettling, and one of the most unique horror sims out on the market. A creepy cabin in the woods, a strange old computer, and a game that literally tries to kill you. Well, that's the setup for Is This Game Trying to Kill Me? It's a twisted mix of first-person horror and puzzle solving where fiction and reality bleed together. In this one though, from the blurb that we see so far, you'll be waking up trapped in a rundown shack and the mysterious owner offers a sinister deal. You have to play a strange computer game for your freedom. But of course, as you play through this one, traps from the game start to manifest in real life. Your every move inside the cabin will affect the gaming world and vice versa. You can expect multiple endings here, a lot of different creative ways for you to die, and a mind-bending journey that really breaks that fourth wall in all the right ways. If you like your horror smart, surreal, and a little self-aware, this is well worth diving into this week. Now, this next one is a charming little surprise. My Little Universe is a very cozy, colourful sandbox builder with just enough bite to keep you hooked. In this game, you're essentially stranded on a barren moon, armed with only your tools and an opportunity to rebuild an entire universe from scratch. In this game, you'll be going across 9 unique worlds and over 65 dungeons, and you'll have to mine, craft, and battle your way through a surprisingly deep gameplay loop. There are also over 70 types of resources to collect, mythical creatures for you to fight, and powerful artifacts for you to uncover. Whether you're terraforming land or upgrading tools, progression here feels very constant and satisfying. Even better though, you can play this either solo or hop in with up to 4-player split screen for some co-op chill fun. It's cozy, addicting, and a great way to unwind, so definitely don't let this one fly under your radar. This week, you can step into the shadows with Project13 Nightwatch, a very tense and atmospheric surveillance game that actually puts you in the shoes of an observer guarding the mother base of a top secret organization. Perched high above a remote, mysterious facility, your job here is essentially very simple, but far from easy. You'll have to watch the perimeter, detect anomalies, and prevent any prisoners from sneaking in. Armed with a high-tech binocular, you'll be scanning your different surroundings for strange activity, trying to identify and also report threats before they breach security. These anomalies though aren't just visual tricks, they're actually tied to potentially dangerous supernatural forces, and the line between observation and madness gets blurrier the longer you watch. This one's all about tension, patience, and focus though, so if you love games that build slow, creeping suspense, Project13 Nightwatch should absolutely be on your radar. I think it's definitely a week for indie horror gems, and we've got another one for this week. The Renovator Origins is a first-person psychological horror game that blends the eerie with the artistic. In this one, you play as a son of a museum restorer who died under mysterious circumstances. As you sift through your father's memorabilia though, a door will slam shut and your descent into an eerie world hidden behind the paintings actually begins. Each exhibit you explore though holds different secrets, connecting its era and its creator in very strange supernatural ways. What starts as a quiet search though quickly unravels into a deeply unsettling journey through art, memory and grief. Of course, in this one, you'll be expecting some creepy visuals, some very clever environmental storytelling, and plenty of moments that'll make you question what's actually real. If you're a fan of horror with a creative twist, the Renovator Origins is definitely one to watch. Then, coming from RPG veterans Kemco, Spirit Valor is a turn-based strategy RPG packed with magic, strategy, and also a hefty dose of that great lore. In this one though, you'll be playing as a wandering spirit who finds himself mysteriously bound to a body of a human warrior named Richard. Together though, the two of you must stop the return of demonic forces and restore the balance to a world teetering on the edge. Of course though, you'll be forming contracts with other spirits, unlocking new abilities and also magical powers along the entire way. The game's combat system here though, from what I've seen so far, lets you absorb different enemy skills using the empty spellstone, which essentially gives you a tactical edge as you evolve your spirit allies and also build your very own team. It has such a charming pixel art visual style and a very rich narrative about identity, fate and redemption. From what I've seen and read so far, Spirit Valor looks to bring a heartfelt twist to classic RPG mechanics. If you love party-based games like Final Fantasy, then this one's worth adding to your queue. What game are you looking to pick up this week? And what games do you think will be announced for Xbox Game Pass this coming Tuesday? Do let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed, and also subscribe for more Xbox content like this every single day. Whilst here though, why don't you check out the video on screen now, as I covered the 13 brand new Xbox and Game Pass games announced over the last week.